Welcome back to the Built for More podcast. I'm your host, Barber, and today's episode is going to be fun. I've had this guest on before, and he ended up turning into a friend and also a client. I'm bringing on Jason Cardone back with us to really show us really show us how to build an online presence and online business. And the secret to that is you don't need a crazy big following to make money online. I mean, would you say?
No, that's definitely something you'll learn in the process, but 100%.
Yeah. I mean, I was one of those barbers, I guess you can say, that was like, oh, well, I have to have 100K online to make some money online. That's far from the truth. But before we get into it, I definitely want to kind of give the audience a refresher.
Yep.
On who you are and like, you know, what you stand for and stuff like that. So let's get into it. So you quit your job recently, right?
Yep.
And went on online coaching.
Yep.
Moving to Vegas,
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
This is why I wanted to have you on one more time, because I was like, well, I probably won't see you for probably another few months. So I was like, why not? Let's do it. So, yeah, man. So let's start with that. How do you feel about Vegas now? Like, it's so close.
I mean, I think it's hitting me in waves. Like, I've kind of kept myself busy, which I thought I came back to Las Vegas just to kind of spend time with family, but I've actually been a lot more busier business wise than I expected. Even something like kind of connecting with you. We've done a couple podcasts and stuff like that. It's, I think I've really realized that quitting has brought me to the point where I'm really embodying being an online fitness coach. But, you know, I'm just kind of doing all the last minute stuff, spending time with family, and it is hitting me today because I got to drive out tomorrow. So I'm going to go home a little later, pack up most of my car. I got rid of a bunch of stuff, so it's not really big of a move, but I think it's going to hit me, obviously, when I'm starting to say goodbyes and stuff like that.
Definitely. I mean, it's always last minute stuff. Like, I'm sure you're excited too, right? You know, new chapter. New chapter. What is like one thing you're looking forward to?
Honestly, man, I'm kind of going with an open mind. It's going to be different. I've been to Vegas, but that was like, obviously I go to party and stuff like that. Like, this is going to be a living situation. But the good thing is I have a pretty good network. Like, you know, one of my best friends, Josh, you interviewed with him. He's out there. Josh Lopez, my coach, is out there. A lot of the other coaches I mentor with. I have family out there, but like my Las Spanish family is on my mom's side, and over there it's on my dad's side, and they're already hitting me up.
They're in Vegas?
Yeah, they're in Vegas.
Oh, that's cool. So it won't feel so much like you're gonna miss family, obviously,
for sure.
But it won't feel so much like a culture shock in that sense.
Well, it's gonna be cool because I talk to this family, but I don't. I only see them when I see them. So now we're gonna have a chance to build another relationship, and I'm moving somewhere where I have a network, so I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Let's go. Do you have to? I mean, again, congrats, because like that right there takes a lot of risk, man.
Yep.
And I think, I mean, which narrows it down, because I every single time I talk to you, bro, I wanted to ask you this question: do you think everybody has do you think everybody has it in them to be an entrepreneur?
I think everybody can train themselves to be, if they want to, but I don't think it's for everybody.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think that you have to be be an aggressive risk taker. A lot of it comes to knowing what you want, right? You have to really bottle it down. What do you want when it comes to entrepreneurship? Because it will eat you alive.
Yeah.
It will eat you alive, because the overthinking process that no one really tells you about, like, it's going to work out. And all these things just start, like, coming into your head that shouldn't even be in your head. You know?
Yeah, I think one of the sayings that I've heard from a lot of business influencers, even my coach, is that entrepreneurship is a huge outlet of self-development. And I think you add social media to that, which is an even bigger outlet to social development, because you don't realize how much fear, how much you nitpick yourself, how much you judge yourself until you start putting yourself out there. Like you said, taking risks, right? So
yeah, dude, taking risks is not for everybody. I mean, would you say, as far as like staying at your job all those years, would that be a risk?
Oh, for sure. I see it now because, you know, to catch you guys up, I worked at Bank of America for 14 years and I made my way up to corporate. I was in a good spot, but what's crazy is I used to work with business owners. I was a business banker, and I would always like coach people into like taking the risk or like the benefits of being in business because I seen the success of it, but I never actually did it myself. And then now I saw now that I've taken the leap, I look back and I realized that if I would have stayed at that job, I would have been capped, where now I see the potential. I'm not saying I'm like a crazy billionaire yet, but like I see how the door has opened for I can do a lot more here than I could have sitting in a corporate job for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Because I was already capped. I wasn't going anywhere farther than that.
I mean, and that's aside from all the other stuff. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's nothing wrong working at a corporate shop, but
No.
when there's nothing wrong with it. If you're okay with that, that's cool. But it's also okay to want more, because I feel like a lot of people have this thing where it's like, well, I should be grateful that I'm here.
Yeah, but you should also be grateful. So this is kind of like a way to look at gratitude, right? So you should be grateful for everything you have, where you've ended up, how you're at. But if you know that you have more potential, you owe it to yourself to put yourself in places where you can grow.
I love that, because not only are you going to be a better person on the other side of that, one, you're also going to be more fulfilled as a person too. I mean, I can't tell you how fulfilled I am seeing the growth in the past 10 years from where I was charging $25 a haircut to charging $125 now, which is a blessing. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying what's possible.
Yep.
You know, and I'm not saying that I'm not saying that's the only way to be successful. There's multiple outlets to be successful. This is just one way.
Yeah.
You know, I definitely think the environment plays a huge role in how you start up a business and how you carry yourself, because your environment is huge on influence, dude. Like, I see it all the time, especially with barbers. Like, there's barber A that wants to elevate, wants to do all these cool things, but then they're surrounded by all these barber Bs.
Okay.
That are like, oh no, bro, just hang out. You know, you're just cutting hair. Like, you know, why? Like, you should be thankful that you're here. You should be thankful that you're. Yeah, I am thankful, but it's okay to want more, dude. Like,
yeah.
And the sad reality of that, dude, is when you start wanting more for yourself, I feel like people start clipping off.
For sure.
Naturally.
100%.
You know, I kind of want your thoughts on that. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think gratitude is one thing, right? You should always be grateful for what you have in front of you, because what I've learned more recently is, like, as long as you appreciate what's in front of you, you're going to attract more, right? Because if you're in a space where you're just like complaining about everything that you have to realize that you put yourself in this position one way or another. And the more that you complain, you're going to kind of block your blessings, right? So when you want more, sometimes, let's say you might be around people that you've been with or around for a really long time, and they may be used to one version of you, which is cool. You know, they've supported you, but, you know, not everybody will be at that mindset where maybe they want more, and that's not a bad thing. But sometimes it's hard, because you start having conversations where you're just like, well, why don't we do this? Or what if we did this? And you kind of sound like a dreamer or someone who's crazy. And like,
I feel like you have to be to some degree kind of delusional.
Oh, for sure. And then it's like, you'll have people, your family, friends, whatever, they'll bring like, don't do that. That's crazy. Like, what do you mean you're going to leave your job for 14 years?
I remember the first time I remember the first price I got at $50, and I told my dad about it. My dad was like, dude, you're fucking crazy. No one's going to pay you. Even my own dad told me that, bro. I was like, what the fuck? Okay. I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to do the work. And the next time I spoke to him, he's like, oh, how's it going? And I'm like, oh, I'm at 75 now. He was like, what?
Well, it's the kind of same way. Like, I had to quit my job, and I came here, and I'm staying with my older sister, and my mom. I didn't tell them until I got here. I was avoiding telling them, because I was like, in a way, you still care about their opinion, right? They mean, they mean a lot to you, right? Of course. But you know that they're not going to understand right away.
Oh yeah, no, dude. I think the fact that I didn't give my dad any objections, like, oh no, you're wrong, was it felt a lot better to prove with my actions, opposed to saying, well, you're wrong. My coach said this, so you're wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
exactly.
You know what I mean? I didn't handle that with objections. I just kind of just said, all right, well, if that's what you think, Dad.
Yeah.
All right, watch this.
Right.
And it was cool, dude. Like, I'm never gonna forget the expression on his face. The next time he seen me, he was like, oh, so how's it going now? Oh, I'm at 75 now. $75 for a haircut? Who's paying you that? And I'm like, I have my ways, I guess, you know. And then now that I went up to $100 to 125, I haven't told him yet, so it's gonna be a fun conversation when I tell him that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a wonderful feeling when you prove people wrong without arguing with them.
Yeah, and then there's more power in showing up than there is in like saying you're gonna do something, right? And I think you probably learned this with business as well. Is like, you can be all talk, you can't say you're gonna do something, but until you actually do it, it doesn't mean nothing, right?
Yeah, dude. I think that's a huge thing, especially in the barber community. Like, barbers will be like, oh, sooner or later my haircut's gonna be $60, you know, and then I'll see that post, and then I'll see it again. I'm like, bro, that was 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Why haven't you gone up to $60? Like my thing is like, my thing, the best way to execute on what you want to do is think about it, write it down, and don't say anything.
Yeah. And I've actually learned that too, dude, because when I first was started, like kind of with these leaps, like I was asking like a bunch of people around me for advice. And it's not that their advice wasn't valid because I was asking for a reason, but I was also like, you also realize like one, you're second guessing yourself if you're constantly asking people, even though you know you're going to do this, but also like it kind of, you'll hear a lot of business mentors talk about this where it can bring you kind of bad energy because someone might tell you like, that's crazy, you can't do that. And they may not mean it in a bad way. No, you can't get offended, right? But it's like you may start believing that and that starts kind of bringing you down. So it's better to just, like you said, like write it down, keep it to yourself. And once you do it, you're like, oh, what's up? Surprise, you know?
Yeah, and believe it or not, especially when you put yourself under the microscope, people are watching you regardless if you think if people don't like you, people don't support you. Or vice versa, if they do support you and they do like you, they're always watching to kind of see your next move because they're interested in your story.
Yeah.
Not because not because they had nothing going on in their life. It's just it's very interesting to see someone go against the grain.
Yeah.
Go against what everyone else is doing compared to what Jason's doing or what Paco's doing, right? Like that's my thing is if you want to do something, right, and I'll always protect what you want to do because believe it or not, sometimes the people closest to you are the ones that are probably the biggest haters.
Yeah, and I think it's like I said, they may not intend to be, but like I said, they're used to a version of you that is in the middle of changing,
dude.
Like you're in the middle of like kind of breaking out who you used to be, and you kind of got to let certain people go with love, and the right ones will come back, and some might stay away, right?
The people that I don't talk to anymore, it wasn't like I'm not gonna talk to you. It just kind of had just happened.
Yeah,
it wasn't like intentional. It wasn't like just because you think this way. It was just because of my own natural actions. I went this way, and you went that way.
Yeah,
but I got love for you, man. And another thing too is how you said like I loved how you said that people project an old version of you because that's what they once knew of you. I think that's another reason why a lot of people kind of drift away from family or old friends because not only do I not like being reminded of what I used to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I used to be the big pothead.
I was a drunkie, bro. So I hear you.
Like, oh, I can't believe Paco did this. He used to smoke hella weed. Like, it's so crazy seeing you like this, bro. Like, oh, Paco can't do that because he's this way. And I'm like, bro, that's cool. It's cool that you remember that, bro. But that's not me no more.
You're talking about me 5 years ago, right?
Or even that 10 years ago, bro. Yeah. And that kind of shows you where they're trapped at.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because I think at first, like, because for me with like I said, drinking, I still like I'm a raver, bro. I like electronic music, so I still go to a lot of like events like that. But I don't drink like I used to. And for the first year or so, when I stopped, I did get that a lot, and I would take offense to it, where I would be defending myself. I'm like, well, I haven't drank in 6 months. I haven't drank in a year, and then now it's kind of more like I'll say it like kind of in a way of like, you're still bringing up someone that doesn't exist anymore, dude. Like I'm the first to tell you that I used to drink like that. You don't got to tell me.
Exactly, and like the fact that you're standing here telling me, it kind of makes me not want to talk to you, and respectfully, right? Like I have friends that will send me snaps of them doing the same shit that they were doing 5 years ago, and I'm like 10 years ago, 20 years. I'm like, dude, I open it and I'm like, oh, dude, I hope you figured out that like I want.
You mean well. You mean well.
Yeah. Exactly. But that was a pretty cool tangent because like I feel like a lot of people are still stuck in that middle ground. They don't want to disrespect anybody, but they also want to do what's best for themselves. So if you're listening to this, do what's best for yourself. Like how Jason said, the right ones will come back and find their way back into your life one way or another.
One thing that I'll add too is like, we grew up in small towns. Like I've had the same group of friends. Like my main group of friends, they've been the same people for like freaking 12 years.
Right.
Now. And it's what I've noticed too is like everyone's always been supportive, but you also kind of have seasons with different friendships, right? Like you have one, like during times you're closer to some people and closer to others because you might be on a different level and one person might understand, one might not. But at the end of the day, like those groups of friends like have always revolved back to me in some way and they've supported me, right? And then you got to have like friends of friends or like that kind of stuff. Those are the people that I feel like naturally fall off. But I feel like growing up in a small town, one of the blessings is like me personally, I don't know about you, but I've always had like the same group of friends.
Yeah,
like, our families are cool. Our families like, But same thing, right? Like sometimes even those people, like they may not understand right away, but they'll see you and they'll support you after, you know? So that's like always, that's something that actually I'm pretty happy that I still have, you know?
No, 100%, dude. It's one of those things too, where I feel like when you try to better yourself, and then I have friends that swear that no one was gonna, come to me for haircuts and this and that, and they are still talking about me in a way where I'm like, dude, there's no reason why you should be still using. Okay, that's the case.
You've proven enough by showing up. Or like you're probably at a point where like maybe before you would have been upset, like here I did this, I did that.
No,
like
yeah.
look at this, and now you're just like you did it. You know, you don't have to. Prove
Yeah, man. I think I'm at the point now too. Like even with my Instagram, like I no longer care about vanity stuff anymore. I care more so about helping people or solving problems and stuff like that. And obviously, Instagram shows me what people care about. Like I've been on both sides of that sword, where it's like yeah, I get people that are watching but no one's buying, or no one's supporting, right? So I'd rather switch up my mindset or my mindset to how can I solve people's problems. That was pretty cool. I for anybody watching, and if that resonated with you, I really want you guys to really take time to figure out what you want, write it down, and think hard on it, and don't say anything. If you're going to say something, say it to the closest people around you.
Say it to the person that you know that's going to push you. Because here's my tip, like, and I'm going to use quitting as an example. When I quit to go all in on coaching, like as much as I wanted to talk to everybody about it, I only told people that were going to hype me up.
Right.
Because I was already second guessing myself, So if you're going to go someone that's going to be like, no, you're stupid, like, then you might think that, right? And they may mean it in the best way possible. You can't take offense to it, like I said. But if you feel like you really need a push, talk to the person that's going to fucking push you. Talk to your homie, your friend, your family member that's like, fuck yeah, you got it. And if it doesn't work out, oh well, it didn't,
Well, yeah, and I think that's the form of accountability that a lot of people don't understand. Like I feel like a lot of people like accountability, especially barbers. They use their surroundings and environment for as an excuse onto why they can't do XYZ, and people are no different, right? Yeah. They use XYZ why they can't achieve this and this and this. Like you really got to look at your habits. All your problems lie with what you're choosing to do.
Yeah, and one thing too, like I'll kind of put another detail on that. If you don't have people like that, like, and you still take action and start whatever it is that you're doing, you're gonna naturally start bringing people like that into your life. You might have like a moment of solitude, which is not a bad thing, but let's use this for an example. Like I came to you for a haircut, bro. Like, and I feel like the 3 times that I've been here, like we've connected on a lot of different stories.
Dude,
like,
yeah.
I've gotten free consulting. No, not really. I paid for it. But like it's been a strategy session, social media session. We've talked about like personal things, business things, and like.
And there's value, and you value that type of stuff,
Yeah, and I feel like I ended up here because I needed to, right? Like I needed whatever you needed to teach me, and kind of vice versa. And I wouldn't be on podcasts if it wasn't for Paco, right? And it's kind of like I feel like I had the mentality coming to Las Vegas that it was going to be quiet for me business wise until I moved, but I feel like that was kind of more reassuring. Like, dude, you're on the right track.
And it's crazy how life kind of tells you, but you really have to pay attention though, because a lot of people don't pay attention to the universe or God. I use both those very loosely because I know some people use.
I agree.
Right? Yeah. I feel like you really have to pay attention to what life is telling you.
Yep.
Like really look around you. Like, where are you? How did you get here? And who's around you too? Because again, that's a big telltale sign why you are where you are. But I definitely want to pivot into building from scratch, right? So you jumped into online coaching and fitness coaching and stuff like that. So what can you give someone advice on starting with no clients to having clients and making their first sale?
So my story is a little bit different because like I can't tell you that I always wanted to be an online fitness coach. Like sometimes I feel like your purpose is revealed to you when you start taking care of yourself. I got in shape because I was tired of the old version of me that could never get in shape and, was a drinker, all that. But I hired a coach to get in shape. I got into really good shape. I went all in and I built a good relationship with him. I became a leader in his coaching community. I started posting online, and he actually asked me if I thought about coaching, and he was like a lot of the reason why I started. Like I kind of was always training somebody here on the side, but he really pushed me to go online. And I work with him more closely. He's helped me go online, but for me, what it took was someone who saw something in me that I hadn't noticed in myself. So like to go back, like I said, I never planned to be an online fitness coach. Like I found purpose in this because I started working on myself. And I feel like sometimes people get so hung up on like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know like what my purpose is in life. And it's like, I think you have to try things. And I think it happens from like when you really start working on yourself. But like for me to answer that question is like mentorship is what really helped me go from zero to something. Cause he taught me how to start marketing online. He taught me, like I was charging like $50 a month, like friends that I was just coaching. And he was very more like, do you really think that's all you're worth? Like, do you see what you're capable of teaching? You're changing people's lives. Like, obviously I was paying him a pretty big amount. Right, and he's like, how much you pay me, right? You pay me that and you see value in it, right? And it was like, he taught me, and it really had to believe in myself. 100%. Michael Sheedy, shout out to you, bro. Like, 100%. You know, but so for someone that if you maybe you're not sure what you want to do, like I think mentorship is a huge benefit.
I firmly agree because that's how I started. I got coaching so I can go from 25 to now $125 a haircut. I got coaching and it cut what I would have learned in 10 years to 5 years
for sure.
And you know, it took me a lot longer to scale from 75 to 125 though, but I still did it, right? Yep. But what people don't understand about coaching is the coaches that you're investing in, that you're paying, they're getting the shorter end of the stick.
Yeah.
You're going to make 10, 20 times more than what you're paying them. Yep. We're investing into the coaching program.
Yep.
I'm sure you already made more than what you're invested in.
Yeah. Know? I mean, it takes a while sometimes, but yeah, I already did.
You know, but that's a course of years, you know, like, hey, Barber fam, I really hope you're enjoying this conversation as much as I am. But real quick, if you're a barber struggling to get new clientele online or struggling to shoot content, the whole thing just feels like guesswork to you. There's literally no need to guess anymore. I built my own school platform where I show you exactly how to shoot content, what angles work, and how to study other people's content. That way you're not doing the guesswork anymore. So if you're done struggling, feeling stuck, click the link in the description down below and let's grow together. Back to the conversation. All right, cool. So yeah, it's like how I was saying. So before I forget the tangent I was going to go on. So people have coaching misunderstood. They think that it's a scam. A lot of people think that it's a scam. Well, no, it's not. Coaching has been around for hundreds of years. First of all, people pay, if not hundreds of thousands, to go to college to not even get the college to get the degree, to not even work in the same field that they're getting the degree in. So why is coaching any different?
It's a hard pill to swallow, man, because in reality is, yes, there is scam gurus out there.
Oh yeah.
So like I feel like if you're seeking mentorship, like what I did when I finally decided to get a fitness coach is like I got one of my friends who competes, her name's Nieves, shout out to you. She competes and she was like, dude, you should find a coach. And I actually took the time to find a coach that I felt like I connected with. Like to me, how I ended up like in front of him was I was listening to some business podcast. He was on it. I connected to his story. So I actually did research. And then when I felt like I jumped on a call with him, I told myself, you know, like if I feel like this guy answers all my questions, if I feel like I'm not being upsold or like steered a different way, and I had like a set amount of money that I was willing to invest already, like I was going to take the leap. So I think, yeah, I mean, if you think everything's a scam, you're going to end up in a scam. You have to like kind of open your mind. And to your point, like we're ingrained to think that you're supposed to spend $50,000 to $100,000 in college. And that's okay. You can, like there's successful people that, but
1,000%.
Like if your goal really is like entrepreneurship or to be like an expert in a certain space, like you're not going to learn it there, you know?
Yeah. I mean, if I hate to say this because I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, but like one of my coaches told me that he was like, there was no way that I was going to go to college to learn how to make six figures when that teacher isn't making six figures or seven figures, right? And he's like, that's a really hard thing to understand because a lot of people are dead on, like saying like they're dead on like on the fact that I have to go to college to be successful, and nowadays you really don't.
Yeah.
You know, nowadays you really don't. There's a lot more opportunity nowadays than there ever was. But going to college is one way. I'm not saying that you shouldn't if that's what you want. Like, you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, of course you need to go.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. But there's other ways to be successful, especially in entrepreneurship. You know, like what is like one of the hardest part of getting your first paying client?
So my first pay, so I guess, are we talking like first paying client in general, or are we talking about high ticket?
Well, high ticket, yeah.
Okay, so I think the hardest part is actually believing in yourself that you can charge a higher amount.
Yeah.
Because it's, like I said, I started charging $50 and it was like a friend and his girlfriend, which I shouted out on our last. They're still my clients to this day.
That's
but
dope, bro.
It's believing that you have the knowledge and you provide enough value to provide something that's worth that much, because it's hard. Like let's say you're going to do like a 6-month program that's, $1,000. It's hard to think like, shit, I'm going to pay $1,000, but you also have to realize like I paid that,
Yeah.
like you'll spend that on something stupid, but like it's believing in yourself. And then once you believe in yourself, even if you don't believe in yourself, you have to put in the work to market, right? Like it doesn't just come to you. And I think people think that like when you start a business, like when you talk about starting a business and you just start it somehow, like it's going to come to you. It's like, it takes work.
It takes a lot of work.
It takes learning like marketing skills, sales skills, things that you don't realize they're skills until you're actually doing them. And it can be the most frustrating thing because it doesn't happen overnight. Some people do get overnight success, but I think for me it was really like, one, believing, like I said, that I was going to charge a higher ticket amount. And again, that came from my coach who like ingrained it into me, like, bro, do you really think you're not worth that much?
Yeah. So to add to that, I know what it feels like to be on the side of, the cost is gonna be $5,000, because not only do you have to like not say anything and like not like hold like not like crumble when you say that, because you do have to believe to some degree that 100% agree that you are worth the $5,000.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I know what you mean when you said that you have to believe what you're charging, your worth when you're charging what you're charging, because if you don't, and the client on the other end,
they're gonna feel it.
They're gonna feel it. 100%. They're gonna feel it. And I've been on calls where, especially at the beginning of my coaching career, where I said that it was 5,000, but you already
second guessed yourself.
Yeah, once you say the word but, the other person's like, wait, hold on, but what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I definitely think that you really have to say 5,000. Just don't say anything.
Yeah.
Just let them think, let them process, because it is a lot to bite off.
They have no idea what you charge. They have no idea the worth that for all they may think it's cheap. But the moment that you kind of, like you said, you start like you say 5,000, but you know what? I can do this, I can do that. And it's like, no, you just decredited yourself. Like
100%, bro. And I think, and I've been on the other side of the sword too, where I've tried giving discounts. I've tried giving the whole free thing, and that doesn't work, bro.
Yeah.
Like people don't really value the discounts or a service at a discounted rate is what I should say. Because if it's at a discounted rate, then you're kind of giving discounted goods, if you think about it.
One of the mentors that I work with through my coach, one thing that he talks about when it comes to discounts is like people that are constantly looking for discounts are the ones that's how they look at life. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody wants to bargain on something, a deal, but it's more of like they're already looking for a reason out or like a reason to not show up. Like they're more focused on that than their actual whatever it is that they're trying to fix.
Yeah.
And that's kind of eye-opening because
very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. Very, very much so, because it sucks, because I mean, like if from my experience, like I recently did and this is just from natural human behavior, bro. Like I've given away free haircuts, free services for the shop, and people always find a way to complain about it, right? And it sucks to say this, but your coach is right that people that are constantly looking for discounts, that's how they look at life. They want everything at a discounted rate, and they're trying to get anything and everything at the discounted rate, so they can go off and brag like, "Oh, I got this for this much." They try to charge me this, but I got this for this.
Yeah.
And then at that point, it just messes the quality of the brand.
Yep.
So what's it called? And then at the beginning, how I said, do you need a huge following to make some money online? I kind of want you to go a little deeper on that. Like, like for the people out there that are listening, because a lot of people swear that you need 100K followers.
Yeah. Well, here's my take on that, because I was one of those people that I would think that you needed to be really viral to make money online. But truth of the matter is, like, there's people that are viral that don't make any money at all. They just have funny content, or they have an audience, but they don't know how to monetize it. And I've learned that kind of being in mentorships and working with more entrepreneurs. Like that was one of my biggest things. Like, shit, nobody's gonna watch my videos because I don't have 100,000 followers. But it's what you don't realize is that if you can't make money from 200 to 1,000 followers, you're not going to make money at 100,000.
Dude, that's such yeah.
Like, and I think here's an example, right? Like, I'm kind of coach you guys. Like, if you're looking, it doesn't even have to be fit. Okay, let's just use fitness coaches. If you're looking for fitness coaching, right, and you're brand new, you've never worked out in your life, and it's scary to you, right, and you're looking for a coach, you're probably not going to go to the coach that has 100,000 followers, because that person's going to be intimidating. Like, they're probably in crazy good shape. They look like they know what they're doing, and that's just not going to align with you. You're probably going to want the smaller coach that's like, oh, he's local, he's new, I've seen him around. Like, you're going to find more of a connection with someone with a smaller following than you would someone with a bigger following, right? So, and that's kind of, you got to look at it backwards as a coach as well, right? Like, there's realms to this, right? Like,
bro.
The people that have the higher following are probably working with higher ticket people, right?
1,000%, bro.
So, yeah. So, like, you have power in the audience that you have. Like, let's say you have already maybe 500 followers and you start coaching something. Those people already know you. So if you start coaching on something that you've already been good at for a couple years, people already kind of expect it from you. They're just like, dude, like when I started like coaching, they were like, dude, I was kind of waiting for you to start training, you know, like, yeah. So like, you've already kind of built an audience with these people. So then you grow from there.
100%.
So,
and then to add to that, like, I one of the things I get a lot too when it comes to views or vanity metrics, right? Like, a lot of my students that I coach currently right now, they always ask me, how many views do you need to get new clients? And I'm like, honestly, one of my coaches told me, and it changed my view, my view on how I see vanity metrics. All you need is one person to see your video.
Yep.
That one person can be that one buyer that can change everything for you.
Yep.
And the reason why I say that was because when I started my coaching business, and it's crazy how you said that people trust people with a lower following count, because when I started coaching with I wasn't in a pond of, I guess you could say, big sharks. You know, there was barbers in that coaching program that had over 200,000 followers, 500K followers, 100K followers. I was the only barber in that one with 40,000 followers. No, 35 at the time.
Okay.
It was 30. Sorry, it was 30,000 followers. So I was the only barber in that community, in that coaching program that had 30,000 followers, and I ended up outselling everybody else. Really? Yeah. And my first month, I think I made in contracted sales, I made $34,000. Okay. In just contracted sales.
Damn, that's good, man.
Yeah, just because I was able to tap into
your audience.
My audience. Yeah. A lot more than, and all the people that had always this huge following, they're like, how are you doing it, bro? I'm like, I don't know, I'm just being myself. You know?
Dude, and right there, you said it right there, right? My coach is big on that, because you can have millions of followers, but if you're just like completely disconnected with yourself and the stuff that you post, like, they're just watching you because you may post funny stuff or like
1,000%, bro.
Things that are viral, but at the end of the day, they know nothing about you. The people that are going to buy are the ones that feel connected to you.
Very much so. Very, very much so.
And that happens, I think, with a smaller audience. Like, you're connected to those people in one way or another.
You know, and it's funny because I wasn't trying to make it seem like 30,000 people was a small. I guess I was just comparing it to
where you're at. Yeah,
where I was at, and dude, and all these barbers that were in the coaching program. They were like, how are you doing it, this and this and this? And I'm like, well, first of all, I told one of the barbers, I was like, looking at your post, bro, number one thing that I see in your post, bro, is I know you're reading off a script. There's nothing wrong with reading a script, but there's also context.
You're not being yourself.
Yeah,
you're not being yourself.
Yeah, when you read a script, you should be ripping off of it. And what I mean by that is, don't read the script as is. You want to use it as talking points.
Yeah. Think of them as bullets. And I mean, I'll add to that, because I think, it's funny, I just said this on one of the mentorship cards, some of the other coaches that I network with, but when you first start, it's kind of a given that you're going to be robotic, because you want to you go into it, you've never done this, it's a skill, and you're scared to say something wrong. Like, you're going to talk robotic, but as you get used to it, like, the more that you are yourself, and the more you just kind of speak with conviction, either it's your story or whatever value you're trying to give, people are going to connect to you. It's not what you're providing. They'll learn from you, but people are going to connect to you. So when it's blatantly obvious that you're reading off a script, you still need to do that, because it's like a skill level you got to build, right?
Yeah.
But when it's obvious, like, and you're just like...
It's so obvious,
Think of it this way, right? Everybody's using ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT for a lot, right? But if you're using a ChatGPT script, and it's just like the most technical, like hard lingo that nobody understands. Someone's gonna be like, that guy doesn't talk like that,
Exactly. So, and that's what I was talking about. Like, to add to that, like when you're reading off the chat, especially the way to win with ChatGPT in 2025 is you have to give it context. You can't just use it as a Google search engine, and expect it to give you this whole blueprint. Like, no, you literally have to give it context on who you are, what you do, what are your goals, you as a person. So the more you use ChatGPT, the better.
Yep.
So anybody that's using ChatGPT for their business right now, the best way to use it is use a prompt. And what I mean by that is you need to say like, hey, I'm using myself as an example. Hey, I'm a barber coach. I'm currently making 6 figures a year. The goal is to make 7 figures a year. How can I scale past $5,000 per sale? Give me advice as a coach advisor with 25 years experience, and boom, right, there's context.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so, like, if you're using ChatGPT to just write scripts, which is great, it's a good tool, but be sure that you're using context, and be sure that you're using it as bullet points, because I can tell when you're reading off the script.
Yeah.
You know, I recently seen some videos online with these barber coaches, and I'm like, I know you're lying, bro. Like, stop the cap. I know you're lying, bro. Like, there's nothing wrong with driving a 2016 Toyota Camry until the wheels fall off, making 7 figures.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, to me, I feel like a lot of barbers, and people buy into these coaching programs for the status.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing either, because I mean, you know,
you should have big dreams, and like you should have big dreams that are like tangible, but also things that you just kind of just want, you know?
Exactly. Like, it's funny because I'm gonna use a story that recently just happened to me this year. So I got this rich white dude that came and got a haircut from me. It's been a while since I've seen him, but he seen me pull up in my car, man. He's like, bro, like, you're charging this much for a haircut? You're driving a this bucket? And I'm like, first of all, this bucket's paid off, bro.
Yeah.
First of all, this bucket's paid off, bro, and I don't value this. What I value is what I put out as a person, and I value paying things off instead of flexing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna go off and buy a freaking 2026. I don't know, like, what's a fancy car that you think of? That you can think of?
I mean, I'm just thinking like Lambo right off the back.
Yeah. I'm not gonna do that, and then have it repoed in within what, a year?
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be myself. So before you invest into these coaches, you really have to ask yourself, does it align with your core values?
Yep.
Right. You know. So, kind of moving on to the next thing. And I really want your advice for people that are building something right now. So something that's like really, really important to people, right? What lessons would you give someone starting something, whatever it is, whether it be online coaching business, barber, or anything? What is some advice you can give someone right now in 2025?
Just like general advice?
Yeah, just general advice, yeah.
I mean, I think try to find like whatever it is that you're thinking about starting. Follow people. You probably already do, but follow people that are doing really well in that space, so you can kind of learn like how they post,
right,
how they attract or how they talk to people, and see why you resonate with them, and then kind of start formatting things in your way. A lot of those people might be coaches, you know, they might be successful in coaching others. Like, start looking at those as outlets for someone that you may reach out to for mentorship. But the whole thing with like social media now is like, and I've learned this more recently, because I've said this before on the other podcast, like I used to be one of those people that was like, fuck influencers, like it's so easy, like you just got to do it, dude. It's not easy. It's not easy, first of all. Like, it's an eye-opening thing, but like you just got to start posting. Like, no matter what, like everybody's on their phone all day, right? So whether you're embarrassed to like show up, like because you want people are going to judge you, like everybody's on their phone no matter what. Like, so you just have to put yourself out there. So if you decide that you're going to start something, make the decision and take the leap, because as soon as you start, the path is going to start revealing itself to you.
Yeah, and to add to that, I feel like one of the questions I get a lot too is like, what is the best time to post, right? Honestly, if your messaging is there, if the packaging of the content you're posting is there, the quality of it is there, the time doesn't matter.
Yeah, I agree, because I think there was also a phase when I was like starting to post that I was trying to follow like my analytics that said post at this time, and I did that. And then after a while, I was just like, just post, dude. Like, if it's supposed to hit somebody, it's supposed to hit somebody, right? Like, just because of that, there's, you know, maybe a few more hundred people around on that time doesn't mean that that message specifically is supposed to hit any of those people, right? Like, I think you said this too. Like, if you post a reel, like, reels keep posting. Like, just because you posted it right now at this time and then you have a lot of followers that are online, that reel is popping up at different times for different people. So that reel may hit somebody at the most random time that you don't even expect it, right? 100%. So the whole point is that you get like, so if you're thinking of if you're worried about posting at a certain time and you miss that time, you're just like, well, I'm not going to post. You lose more by not posting it than posting it and just letting it hit.
100%. Yeah, like, I have videos that like got maybe 1,000 views the first 24 hours, and then like a week later, it'll be at 1 million.
Yeah,
just randomly.
Yeah.
Or I'll have videos that I posted months ago, and they're finally catching fire now.
Yep.
Just randomly, it's just weird how the social media works. It's just all that matters is you're sparking that spark by posting. And I think if you're going to post and at a time, right? One of my coaches always told me to post at 1:30, and the reason why he told us that was because to build that posting muscle.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was coaching my brother on how to post. And it made me realize him because he had a hard time just trying to figure out how to fucking post a video.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, just why is it so hard? You know? And he's like, well, you do it every day. To you, it has to be easy. And I'm like, well, yeah, because I do it every day. She goes, well, to me, I don't post. I'm like, stop. In my head, I'm like, people literally have this thing where they're trying to find a way to post it perfectly. My dude, at this point, just post it without a caption.
Yeah.
You just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And you're going to realize too, like, it's frustrating because you could put so much thought into one piece of whatever post you're going to do, and it tanks. And then the one that you just kind of pull together gets all the engagement. Dude, and it's the most frustrating thing, but it's also like, okay, well,
I think that's when you have absent intent, because when you have absent intent on doing things, you're not thinking of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. You know, when you're intent,
you let go of the outcome.
Exactly.
Like, you're just like, this shit's not going to blow. And then there it goes.
Yeah. I've had the most videos that I never thought would in a million years would blow up. Like, I recently posted this video on TikTok talking about how unlicensed barbers are now. I did not expect the controversy, dude. It hit a pain point, I guess, for barbers that weren't licensed, and I got so much like crap for it just because, like, oh, well, look at my hair. I'm like, I'm not saying about skill, but do you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I never in a million years thought that subject was that controversial, and this is why what we're saying is, like, you just never know. Like let go of the outcome and just control your inputs.
And I like what you said about like posting at 1:30 to build the muscle. It is building a muscle. It's a rep. It's a skill. Like, the more you post, the more you're going to realize what works for you, and the more you're actually just going to get comfortable posting or figuring out, like, you're going to get more comfortable on camera. You're going to get more comfortable like piecing things together, editing. So each one is a rep, and it's again, like what I said earlier, it's like business and social media are their own outlets for self-development, because you don't realize how much you judge and nitpick everything about yourself until you do it. Because you could watch one of your reels and you're going to catch every little blunder or mess up that you did, and nobody's even going to notice that. Like,
no, dude.
You're like, I'm going to take this off, and it's like, just leave it on.
You know? Yeah, because people like seeing your quirks. People like seeing how you move, and, you know, there's certain things like that. That's why music artists are so popular, because they have certain quirks about them, the way they sing or the way their facial expressions are when they hit a note. It's literally, it goes that deep, right? And it's funny because I'm gonna use myself as an example. The other day I was editing my podcast, and I remember saying some stuff on the podcast, and I'm like, this is gonna sound so dumb. Yeah. And then when I edited the video, I'm like, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
And you know what's crazy? Like, to add to that, like, you might think that's dumb, but someone on the other end is like, bro, that's fucking awesome. Yeah. Like, I'm so glad they said that. And sometimes it takes someone telling you that, like, oh dang, I didn't think that made sense, you know. And you're always gonna be your own worst critic. And, you know, part of this journey, business, social media, fitness, everything, is you're always going to judge yourself more than the other people. Like, you, no matter what, you're inspiring someone. And I think what you learn by going online is, like, you don't realize how much level of inspiration you have until you actually start putting yourself out there. So, because no matter what, like, people may be acknowledging your stuff, like engaging, it's still self-development for you, because it's those little messages that you get from people Like I actually just told you about this. So I went to the gym on Monday, and 3 different people came up to me
I love that. Yeah,
that
that's cool.
I know, but I haven't seen in years. And I never see them engage with my videos ever. Like I've never noticed them like them or anything, but they literally were like, dude, I love that you posted this. I learned this from you. I implemented this. And they literally called out specific things I would say in a video. And I could go back and remember that video. And I'm like, that is the goddamn reassurance I needed, because I'm over here worrying about likes and comments. And it's like, damn, dude, like people are watching, you know?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and it all goes back down to the first thing when I first talked to you. You just never know who's watching. Because
Yeah.
look, you're sitting here doing a podcast. This is the third podcast. We're wrong, guys, by the way. You know.
And like, okay, I'm going to use Paco as an example, because when I came out to Los Banos, I had to leave my barber in the Bay Area. But I had been wanting, like, I had been playing with the idea of like, I kind of want to cut my hair like a little bit differently. Like, and I was just kept telling myself that. And then I ended up finding your page because I started going to the compound. Shout out to Miguel. And Miguel posted like our stories back to back. And then I ended up clicking on your page. And then as I was watching your videos, I ended up on a rabbit hole. And literally, like the way you're cutting hair, you're just like, someone's like, all right, so what do you want to do? And you're just like, you know what? I think you should do this. I think you should do that. And I was like, well, that's what I need.
Yeah.
And then that's what brought me to you,
Yeah,
right?
you see what I'm saying? That right there is a proof of concept of what problem solving content can do. As long as you have one person watching your thing and you make one sale, that is a proof of concept. You know what I mean? And what is a proof of concept? For Jason, well, him posting his content, or his wins and his what's it called? His students making progress. Those are all proof of concepts. So as soon as you get that, write it down, post it, because it's a huge win. And I feel like this doesn't get talked about a lot. Is when you win, celebrate it.
Yeah. Even if it's small. Even if it's small, dude. It could be as simple as I made my bed today. Yeah.
When you never make your bed, but you made your bed today.
Yep.
Let's fucking go. You know, you need to allow yourself and give yourself permission to accept that, because that's habit stacking. And by the end of it, you're gonna be like, oh fuck, this is what really winning feels like. And you're gonna learn how to accept it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it comes back to what we were saying about gratitude, right? Like you have to learn to be grateful for the little things, because those are gonna attract more. So it could be just like, you know what, someone sent me a DM that was like, hey, I love that. Cool. You helped somebody. You provided value. They may not have been a sale, but the more you start counting those small wins, you're going to get to that bigger win, right? And then at that point, you realize that when you get that bigger win, yeah, it's exciting, but it's just also another win. Like, again, when it goes back to stop not being stuck on the outcome, you know, like when you're so focused on like, I need to make money, I need to do this, you're not going to get it. It's when you kind of just let it go.
Let it go, yeah.
Like my mentors talk about, like, if you want to, you need to provide 10 times more value than you need to provide 10 times more value of what you want to receive. Like if you want to receive a certain amount of value, you have to do tenfold to that.
Tenfold to that. Hey, Barber fam, I really hope you're enjoying this conversation as much as I am. But real quick, if you're a barber struggling to get new clientele online or struggling to shoot content, the whole thing just feels like guesswork to you, there's literally no need to guess anymore. I built my own school platform where I show you exactly how to shoot content, what angles work, and how to study other people's content. That way you're not doing the guesswork anymore. So if you're done struggling, feeling stuck, click the link in the description down below and let's grow together. Back to the conversation.
Counting wins, right? So
Yeah,
you
okay,
got to start
cool.
counting the small wins.
Yeah.
Like if you're just starting out, it's not going to be always that you make a sale, but it's going to be like when someone messages you like, hey, that was a good hit, or I learned something from that, or someone reposted your video. Those are all wins. And when you learn to stack those smaller wins, those bigger ones, they're not as meaningful. Like, I mean, they're still meaningful, but they're kind of like, oh shit, this is just another win, you know?
Yeah.
You're not so hung up on the outcome anymore.
Exactly. And and to kind of go on the contrast to that, I feel like I've learned more from failing than I have from winning. Because winning feels good, but failure doesn't. But I feel like that's what people's problem is they don't fail enough.
Yeah.
I feel like the quicker you fail, the better.
Well, it's probably not a good, like, for example, like some people start a business and then some people are overnight success. Most people aren't. But I think the people that are don't know how to fail. And it's actually probably better that you had to struggle to get to where you're at. Because when you get to where you're at, you actually appreciate it more.
Oh, 100%. One of my mentors told me, he was like, look, dude, like, if I were to just give you if I were to give you this program for free, you're not going to value it.
Yep.
And this goes back to what we're saying, that the free things don't work. So he was like, if I were to give you this free program, you weren't going to value it. Let me give you an example. If I were to give you a free McLaren, no free charge, you can keep it. All right. What are you going to do? You're going to post it on the gram. You're going to drive it around. You know, you're not going to take care of it. You know, You're gonna let it get dirty, whatever. You know, it's you're not gonna upkeep it, whatever. But if you were to pay for that McLaren, you're gonna value it. You're not gonna be driving it around.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be.
You're gonna clean it. You're gonna take care of it.
You know,
Yeah.
exactly. So now I was like, huh, okay. So that makes a lot of sense. Why it's important to kind of not think so much of what it costs, because you're gonna get that money back tenfold.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this before. It's like it's an energetic exchange. When you put an amount of money down or you invest in yourself, you're more than likely to work harder towards it, because you making that investment is you believing in yourself. But when you get it for free, there's no value in it. So you're not going to try. You're not going to work hard. You're just kind of going to let it be. It's just like any other thing that's given to you. You don't find value in it.
Yeah. I mean, it felt like if like all the stuff that I've invested in was free, I don't think I'd be here talking to you, if I'm being honest with you.
No, so straight up, man.
You know what I mean? So I'm thankful that I was able to fail, you know, and even to this day, bro, I'm still like figuring shit out, you know. I'm actually approaching my first year as a barbershop owner on Wednesday, the 1st of October.
Oh man, congrats, bro.
Yeah, bro, it was a crazy ride, man. Crazy ride. I told myself that a year ago that day, I told myself I'm gonna build the best barbershop in the valley, and I did not take that lightly, bro. And how did I come up with? I think that when I first started the whole shop, I didn't care about the name so much. All I cared about what I wanted for the shop, which was I wanted professionalism. I didn't want like I knew what the city needed, and a lot of how these shops carry themselves is not it, bro. Like,
Yeah.
You know, I definitely want a different environment. So, but back to like the experience of being a shop owner, it's a lot, bro, because I had to learn things that I didn't expect. And well, I mean, I guess you do expect them, but you don't know when they're gonna hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like losing barbers, losing friends that were my barbers. It was a crazy. It's been a crazy ride, bro.
Yeah, and it comes back to like not being attached, dude, because you know, just like you should be attached to the outcome, like things are gonna go wrong, and you have to be able, as a business owner, and again, this is the skill that you build, and you apply this to life after. It's like you have to be able to adapt, you have to be able to pivot, and it's like you can't soak in something for so long. You should soak in it, feel it through, like, dang, that sucks, but like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
you got to figure it out, you know.
I think the first few months when all this shit happened. What was that? Charter. Yeah, I feel like when all this shit happened in the beginning, it stung, bro, and it took me a while to kind of like move on, because
it's another muscle you had to build.
Yeah, it's a muscle I had to build. You know, now I'm in a different space. Like now I'm extremely, I mean, I guess you say picky when it comes to letting people in my space, because a lot of people tend to reveal a lot about themselves.
Yeah.
Without you even like wanting to know, you know, because people love talking about themselves,
yeah.
Right? You know, so I at this point in my career I've learned that you have to just let people talk, and you'll learn anything and everything you need to know about them in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah,
if that, right? You know, so yeah, since it'd be my first year as a barbershop owner, I just signed the biggest deal of my career. I'm gonna be here for the long term now, the long haul. Like now, it's gonna be. Now I can pour in some real money into this place and make it my own. So,
awesome, man. Congrats.
I'm excited about that, you know. So just to kind of recap, you know, what is like one thing you want people to like what is your message to people out there right now? Kind of like recap.
Well, I think if you think about starting something, you know, if it's been on your mind for a long time, it's probably for a reason. You know, and trust me, like I came from somewhere where I didn't quit my job for 14 years. It took me a while to start something, but like there's so much value in doing something on your own, because you appreciate so much more, and you learn the value of like working hard to build something that you're actually passionate about. And again, you probably have to try a few different things to figure out what that is. You're not always going to know, but if you don't ever change your environment, you're not going to know. And you said it earlier, there's like a bigger risk in staying where you are than actually taking leaps. And like my whole last 3 months of my life have been like,
I mean, yeah,
crazy leaps, dude.
Like from what you like looking in, you know, a person looking into your life, like hearing all that, it motivates me to just keep going too, you know.
Yep.
Because then at the day, like if I had to start over, everything all over again, I feel like I wouldn't be starting from scratch. But one thing I would do differently is I would take a lot more risks.
Yeah.
A lot more risks, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
a lot more, you know. But yeah, man. So to wrap this up, I really want people to know where they can find you if they want coaching. I want people to know your Instagram, right? Instagram.
Yep.
I'll tag you down below, and then as far as coaching, they can hit you up on there too.
Yeah, you can just hit me up on there. There's, you'll find my content. You'll find testimonials. You'll find client transformations.
Let's go.
There's applications on there and stuff like that. So
I'll definitely tag them down below in the description. If so, and then also, if for you barbers out there, I have something great for you. So if you guys are struggling making content, I built a whole school platform where you can literally learn and play my blueprint into your business. I'll tag that down below too. So if you guys are interested in that, it's going to be all down there, down in the description. But I want you guys to understand this. Like, it doesn't matter if you're holding clippers or coaching fitness. The blueprint is the same. Believe in yourself, bet on yourself, and build it step by step. Because Jason, and at the end of the day, bro, I do appreciate you coming on once again. This won't be the last time, right? You know, I definitely hope to see you one more time at least. And if anything resonated with you with this in this podcast, please let us know down in the comments below, and we'd love to chat with you. All right, guys.